Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today I am going to be doing a review of the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Collector's Edition 3-pack, which includes Miss Marvel, Captain America and Radioactive Man. So straight off the bat I got this thing from Kapow Toys. If you're wondering where you can get it and you're in the UK, you can get it from Kapow Toys. It was 40 something pounds, which is cheap for 3 Marvel Legends, so awesome price for a great collector's edition kind of gift pack kind of thing, so really awesome. So if you're in the US, as far as I know, this is a Target exclusive, so that is where you can get it from. Like I said, I got it from Kapow Toys. You can actually get it from them anywhere in the world. They do ship internationally. As far as I know, I have not seen it on Big Bad Toy Store. Pretty sure that I haven't seen it on there. But it could be on there by now since I had it. But this thing came really quick. I mean, it's still pretty hard to find in the US, like where it is being released. And Kapow Toys already had it over here in the UK, and it was in stock, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So got to give a lot of credit there to Kapow Toys for getting it so damn early. So the packaging, it looks great. You can see all 3 figures very clearly, and it even has this little bit of a window at the top there so that you can kind of see in and see a bit more of the figures, I guess. But not too much. But I mean, it gives you a good idea of how each individual figure looks. So if you can see more than one on the shelf, definitely have a good look at them. You can see a lot of the figures, and you can try and pick out the best ones. Now mine all have good face sculpts and everything, and I can't see anything really bad with the paint or anything in package, so everything's looking really good. Now on the side we just have this nice bit of artwork with the 3 characters, and then on the back we have them individually standing there with their bios. So I'll just get some focus on those. So there is the Ms. Marvel bio, there is the Captain America bio, and then there is the Radioactive Man bio. So pause it on those if you want to read them, and that's pretty much it for the box. So let's get this thing open. So first out of the box, let's get the repaint out of the way. This is the updated version of the Ultimate Captain America that we got not too recently, a few waves ago. And basically, it's just slightly updated, and I think that the look is much better. So first of all, let's take a look at the head. The new things that they've done here is they have given the wings onto the side of the mask, so they weren't there on the older version. And then moving down, we have these stars on the shoulders, which don't work too well because as soon as you move them, the star is not aligned anymore. This one, as you can see, the star was painted whilst the arm was out, so that looks great, but you have to have the arm out that much for it to actually work, basically. The shield, just like any other Captain America shield, you can plug it into the back. They have replaced his jacket with these straps, so it does look nice now with the shield on there. That's where I keep it. Plus, because as you can see right here, you can see that little bit of white right there. That is a stress mark. Yep, that is split. So yeah, that's not too great. I've not had that problem with any other Captain America shield clip. I literally took it off of his arm from in package, and it was like it. So whether or not it was just put in and then pressed in against something and it did that, or whether it was already weak at that joint or something, I'm not too sure. I've got a load of these shields, so I don't really mind, but this is my favourite paint scheme of it. How you've got these silver on here, not white, and then you've actually got silver inside, not just plain red plastic. So this is very nice. A little sloppy along the edge. The red does run, as you can see there. It kind of looks like blood, which obviously wouldn't be on Captain America's shield, really. I should think that he'd refrain from trying to draw blood from people with his shield, but yeah, I mean, it looks great in his back, and that's basically how I'll keep that, obviously, because I can't put it on his hand because of that stress mark. So the other major difference is the fact that the belt is a slightly lighter brown than the older version. Now this is heavily shaded. There's a lot of a darker wash on here, so this is probably darker than most that you would see, but it is definitely lighter than the previous release. They've gotten rid of the gun holster that was on the side of his leg. You couldn't actually remove the gun from that holster there, so there's no point of it being there anyway. And as you can see, the legs are blue now and not grey. So there's quite a few changes to it. It is pretty much mostly repaints. There is a head that you can interchange with it, however it's not a new head, it is simply the same head as what was released with the Steve Rogers figure. So let's get that on there. It was released in the Terrax wave, doesn't want to pop on, there we go. I think it fits pretty well. I mean, the size of the heads and whatnot, it is actually a little tiny bit bigger than the head with the mask on, but it's pretty much the same shape as you can see, so it looks pretty good. So if you want him unmasked Captain America, then there you go, and then there's a reason to get this. If you currently do this with your other figure, then obviously you can buy this one, and then you can still have your Ultimate Cap with the mask on, and then you can still have your other Steve Rogers figure. So I think this is a pretty good figure. Let's take a look at articulation real quick. So up, down, left, and right. That's the same with both heads. Shoulders can go up and down. They go full 360, swivel at the bicep. They have a double jointed elbow and the wrist swivel. They don't go in and out or anything like that. They just swivel. And then you have a very good ab crunch right there. You have some waist articulation. You can remove the belt if you don't want that on there. You can also, if you move the arms to the back, you can pull this off of his arms if you don't want them there. Does reveal some nice grey paint up under the arm. And then the legs, they have a swivel at the thigh joint there, and then they also go out to the front and to the side, so pretty good leg articulation. And then they have double jointed knees, a rotation at the boot, and then up and down, and then an ankle pivot at the foot. And he also has peg holes and very, very nicely sculpted soles to the feet. You can see some stars under there, so I think this is a very good figure. I would not say that this is a throwaway figure from the set whatsoever. I didn't have the original one, but I really did want it, so I think that this looks absolutely fantastic, and I think it's a great thing to add to the collection. And I mean, you can use these things for customizing and whatnot, and you have another shield and stuff like that, and another Steve Rogers head to use for something, so I think that overall it is very good, whether you're a customizer and you're going to use it for something else, or whether you just want to use him in your collection. I think that it is a very good and worthy addition to this box set. And then here he is with all of his gear taken off, so as you can see, you can actually use it as a very good kind of updated classic Captain America costume, so I really do like that. You do have a little kind of notch around the waist there from where the belt would be. It just helps keep the belt in place, but if you don't mind that, then you don't need to worry about it. But also you can just take a normal belt off another character and put it on him that more resembles a normal buckle type belt, instead of something like this that's got all the pouches and everything on there. You know, I mean, this really works for like the Agent Venom figure that I have reviewed recently, if you want to go and check that out, where it's just painted all black. And it also works really well on the other version of him, and just if you want to have it on there. But I don't like having a Captain America with grenades and a knife and stuff. So yeah, I prefer him just with his shield, really. So I think that this looks incredibly nice as just a normal Captain America. You can, I mean, you know, keep the straps on for still a very good classic look, if you want to put the shield on his back and it'll look like it's strapped around him, so that's good. Like I said, literally you just bring the arms back like this and just take it off him just like you would just taking a coat off yourself, so it's very easy to take on and off. So yeah, if you don't like the figure as like a kind of ultimate version of him, he works as a kind of classic look if you don't have a classic Captain America. And here is Radioactive Man, looking a lot like Luke Cage. It uses a Luke Cage head sculpt, and I don't know. I know that it's clear plastic, so you can't really, you know, you don't really notice that it's him too much. But I mean, the guy's a Chinese dude, and his head, not to be stereotypical or anything, but his head is a smaller head, and you know, to see this with a big bum chin and like how angry he is, like with his eyebrows being so like sculpted in there and everything, you know, I just really do think that just, it looks so much like Luke Cage. Like, this head sculpt is so good for Luke Cage, it just doesn't look like a Chinese guy to me. So I've just recently read Thunderbolts and Civil War and all that kind of storyline that he was in there under Norman Osborn, and basically I really do think that it would have been good to release that costume where he's actually in that radioactive suit thing, so that the people think that, you know, obviously seeing this guy, he'd be Radioactive and whatnot, they wouldn't like to see him as a hero. So if they put him in a suit, then obviously they can still look at him as a hero. So I think it would have been awesome to get that kind of a look, but I do like this classic look too. Reminds me a lot of kind of like a dark side kind of a look, but never mind, like a classic one. I think that this is painted well. I think on other reviews and other pictures, I thought that it wasn't painted well enough and just really did look painted on, not like he's wearing a shirt, but in hand it actually looks very good, and mine is painted very well. And then obviously you just got this little skirt which is pliable, hinders articulation a little bit, it moves a little bit, but that's not too much, and there's not really a lot to talk about here. There's no detail or anything like that apart from just this darker green section on the eyes and the white in the eyes, and then this design on the chest. You know, there's no paint shading or detail or anything like that. It doesn't really need it. This clear plastic looks awesome. So let's get into the articulation. So it looks up and it looks down and then side to side and a bit side to side that way too. So pretty good head articulation right there. The shoulders go this much and then a full 360 degrees. He has a swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows. The wrists swivel and go in and out. He has an ab crunch. There we go, very, very nice. Waist rotation slightly hindered by the waist piece here, but you can get it, it is there. Also leg articulation slightly hindered by it, so forward and back a little bit and out a little bit, but not too much. He has rotation at the upper thigh, he has a double jointed knee, rotation at the boot, and then the feet go up, down, and have ankle pivot, and also have peg holes in the feet. So again, another great figure, another awesome addition to the set. It's good that we're finally actually getting him and they haven't just completely forgotten about him. It's really nice that we're getting these running change figures that we were supposed to have, or really, well, not just running change figures, but figures that we were promised that were going to be part of waves and then just kind of thrown to one side. It's great that we are actually getting them now. And now moving on to Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers. So this is pretty much the reason that everyone's going to be getting this set. Now, I was thinking of getting some older Toy Biz figures a couple of months ago, and I thought to myself, I want to get a Ms. Marvel, a Scarlet Witch, and a Sentry, and those are the three figures that Marvel showed us, or at least Hasbro showed us, that they were going to be releasing, so I was incredibly happy to see these new waves, and I am incredibly happy that I have this figure. Now, the old Toy Biz figure, if you already have that, it is actually, in my opinion, a very, very good figure. So you're not missing out incredibly much if you have that and you don't get this. I wouldn't say it's a complete pass. If you can get this set and you're okay with the price and getting the other two figures, then I would say 100% go for it, because she is an incredibly good figure. Now, obviously, this newer female mold that they have been using for people such as Moonstone and others, it is a very, very good mold. I think it's the best female mold that they have come up with, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now, it is pretty much exactly the same as Moonstone. The hair is the same. As far as I can tell, the face sculpt is the same. It's just paint apps and the addition of the sash that is different. So as you can see, let's just start out with articulation real quick before we get too much into any detail. But I mean, as you can see, the diaphragm joint is very, very good. So you can put that to one side and put the hips to one side and get a more feminine pose out of her. But before running ahead of myself too much, the one fault with this thing is that it doesn't come with interchangeable hands. I would love her to come with some open hands, not only so that you can get even more feminine poses out of her, because then you can put a hand on a hip like she, that's basically the way that she's depicted in a lot of comics, standing, a very feminine, beautiful kind of poses. That's how she's drawn. However, it would also be good for her powers, you know, for her to use her blasts from her hands and whatnot. So that's the one thing that I would change. You know, a lot of their figures now in these Infinite Series lines come with interchangeable parts. I mean, even the cap in this box set came with the other head. So it would have been very nice to get some a different set of hands for her. But nonetheless, apart from that, I have no problems with her whatsoever, apart from a bit of black seeping into the side boob area over there. But apart from that, it's really, really good. So carrying on with articulation real quick before we get to detail. The head moves left and right perfectly fine. The hair is pliable enough to be moved out of the way. Not too much up, but down is pretty good. But it will kind of bounce back if you just move the hair out of the way a little bit. and get it to stay there, then that will be fine. The diaphragm joint acts also as a kind of waist rotation, so you've got left, right, you've got the ab crunch up and down, and then you also have that side to side movement there, so very, very nice joint there. And the paint on the stripe here does go all the way up, so you're not going to have just a black gap when you pull it all the way up, so that is very, very nice. And then at the shoulders here, they move all the way up and do a full 360. We have a rotation at the bicep. We have single jointed elbows, but it's not too bad. And then we have a rotation at the hands and then the in and out. Like I said, it's just the fists. It would have been nice to have an open hand, but never mind. Down here at the legs, she moves forward, not too much back, and then out to the side just a little, not that much. Rotation at the thigh, double jointed knees, and then down here at the feet, up and down, ankle pivot, and peg holes in the feet. So let's take a look at some of that detail. Like I said, the paintwork is very good on this stripe. It has a little bit of a silver edge to it, if I just get some close in focus here. Very, very nice silver edge to it right there. The sash is moulded very, very nicely. As you can see, it sculpts around her very well. That's how it is in the package. So I don't really think that this could be moulded any other way, like too badly. I don't think that this could get warped too much in the package. Hopefully it doesn't for you guys anyway, but as you can see from mine, it is pretty perfect. And obviously you can move it around to wherever you want it for different flight poses and whatnot. I think that overall the paintwork is very, very good, except for just on the thighs here. I mean, this is a little bit sloppy here, but it's just because this part up to here is still black, and then they have to paint it over with the skin tone, whereas up here it is actually moulded in that skin tone. So there's a small variation there. It comes across more on camera than in real life, though, to be honest. I mean, you really barely notice that. I'm looking at it around the camera, and I can barely notice it, so it's still very good there. The shading in the hair is really, really nice, very good. You've just got this, it's kind of like a dark blonde kind of colour over the top, so it's very, very nice. Very subtle, but very nice. Not as shiny as the Moonstone hair. And then onto the face, she has light blue eyes, nicely thin painted eyebrows. The mask is painted very well on there too, no sloppy paint there. The lips are painted perfectly as well, there's no sloppy paint over there onto a cheek or anything like that, so that's very good. Sometimes you can have lips or pupils in the eyes or something painted kind of off and like to one side or something, but overall this figure is painted extremely well, and with it being pretty much at least 80% of the reason why most people are going to buy this set, I am actually very impressed. I think that Hasbro have really come through with this figure. I think that this mould suits the character extremely well, and I would highly recommend that you get this set, even if you did treat the other two figures as throwaway figures. And here they are all together now, so I really do think that they look absolutely fantastic. Each individual figure has its good points and its flaws, but mostly I'd say across the board, very good points, and any bad points are really kind of thrown out the window when you consider just how good this Miss Marvel figure is. The mould suits her really well. The paint scheme and everything is just really, really awesome. I just love how that lightning bolt on her chest is painted with the silver rim to it. I think that just makes it pop so well. It really does look great. The face sculpt is done really well, along with the paint and the hair. The Steve Rogers head on this body, now with this slightly new repainted style, I think that it is a very, very awesome figure. And even if you wanted to use it as a more kind of classic Captain America look, just take the straps off and the belts off, and then you've got a kind of updated yet still classic look. And then as for Radioactive Man, who doesn't want a big clear green dude on your display? So they're all awesome. I definitely recommend the set if you can find it. As I say, Kapow Toys at the moment, it's a pretty good price. Go ahead and get it from there if you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world if you don't mind paying shipping. So I have no idea how many of these box sets there are out there, but get yours whilst you can. I really like that they are catering for the collector's market, even by literally putting on the box collector's edition. It's nice to see the multi-packs from Marvel Legends again. So if you want to watch more videos like this, go ahead and click the like button and help me out by subscribing, and then you'll be kept up to date with all of my reviews. And if you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, it is Homerino123 on both. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next review.